Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to show us how to make a scissors neckline corset top. So this is the fabric I'll be making use of here. These three fabrics. Oh, okay, I think I used two at the end of the day. So let me quickly explain to us how to draft a basic bodice pattern, which we need to draft this style. Okay, so first of all, my paper is on fold. Okay, then my shoulder to half length is about 17 inches. Okay, this is my shoulder line. My shoulder to chest line is 7.5 inch. It's yeah, I don't want the armhole to be too revealed, so 7.5. Then shoulder to my bust point is 10.5. Shoulder to my underbust, and my half length is 17. Now we might not use the same measurements. Please measure yours. So I'm marking half of my across back, which is 7, centering on the chest line, half of my across back. Then I link it together with a straight line. Then I marked quarter of my bust on the chest line, plus 1 inch for a side seam allowance. Yeah. Then on the waistline, I'm using 2 inches for my dart. So I'll add 2 inches to quarter of my waist measurements. So that's 9.5 in total, plus 1 inch for side seam allowance. Then I link it together. That's all. Then for my dart placement, I'm doing 1 inch on both sides of the bust span line. Now, how do you get the bust span? Very simple. Divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. Mine is 8, so that's 4. So I have 1 inch on both sides of the bust span line. Then on the under bust line, I have 1/4 inch on both sides. Okay, and I didn't use under bust measurements, please. I don't do it. So this is my working pattern here. Then of course this line links to the middle of my shoulder. Okay, and this is my bust point. Okay, so that's like a quick tutorial. Then my bust that is 2 inches wide. Okay, now this is my back pattern here. Right, this is my back pattern. Everything the same thing, just that my back neckline is 3x1. Then here is 3 inches. So I'm not sorry, 3 1/4 by 1 actually. Yeah, for the neck width, by 1 for the back. Then for the front, I'm not doing the neckline yet. Then my back is still the same thing, waist dart, zipper, blah blah blah. Okay, then what else? Yeah, my back waist is quarter of my waist plus 1 inch for that. Okay, so if you want a detailed tutorial on the basic bodice pattern, I have a separate video for that, just for basic bodice. I'll drop the link in the description box for us to watch. So my back waist length is 15. Okay, so that's why my bust that is 2 inches, since my front waist length is 17. So by the time I fold the bust that, I'll have 15 inches back for the front waistline. Okay, yeah, I hope I'm not confusing us. Or if you don't know how to use this bodice pattern, you can use your own bodice pattern, please. Yeah, you don't have to use this method. Okay, so now I've used my tracing wheel to trace out everything on the other side to this side, and I've already traced it out with my marker. So my front pattern is on fold, right? So I'm just trimming out the unwanted part. So like I said, if you don't know this method of bodice, you can use your own bodice pattern. Okay, so the most important thing is to have your front pattern on fold. Okay, since the top the way the pattern is not symmetrical. Okay, so I'm just trimming out my my waist dart rather. Then I also trim out the bust dart. So like I said, there is a very detailed tutorial on how to draft this bodice pattern. That, like, in that video is about, I think, 20 minutes. I explain very slowly, very very detailed how to do this. Okay, so here we go. So my bodice pattern is on fold. Now I will close my bust dart. So when I close it now, by the time I place front and back together at the sides, they'll be equal. They'll become the same. The only thing is my center front is still 17, but my bust will accommodate for that. Okay, so here my bust that is already closed. I've threw that part there, so I'm just going to trim off the unwanted parts. So like I said previously, if you are making a scissors neckline top, the bodice pattern has to be on fold, because the neckline runs from one side of the pattern to the other side, meaning it's not symmetrical. Okay, yeah, so for those of you that always complain that my video is too fast, blah blah blah, I'm taking my time to explain now. Yeah, I'm taking my time to explain. like very slowly. Yeah, so this is my bodice pattern. Now we are going to create the cup for the corset. Very simple. So depending on how much I want to reveal, that's the cleavage, I'm going to come down. Okay, so for my chest line, my shoulder to chest line is 9, I think it's, sorry, 7.5. So I just come down by 8 inches. Then this line I divide the shoulder into two. I'm going to mark probably 7 or 6.5. Okay, just so that my cup, goes up before it now comes down. You can see where I place my curve. So the neckline is not straight, like a gentle curve. Okay, then I'll link this back to my armhole. Now, one of the reasons why I use 7.5 inches for my armhole, my shoulder to chest line, was because this top, the armhole part, there's no sleeve, so as much as possible I don't want to reveal cleavage. So I'm just tracing this part so that I can also show on the other side of my pattern. This is called a tracing wheel. Okay, it helps you to transfer markings to your other side of your pattern like very easy, and then everything will be even, no discrepancies here and there. So here, this is my pattern here, this is my neckline, right? It's a gentle sweetheart curve, very gentle. Okay, now this is my neck width. Okay, so I'm just creating a notch so that I'll be able to know where the neckline stops. Okay, and where the shoulder tip starts from. Now, next thing, what's the next thing to do? Okay, now my neck depth, I'm going to mark the minimum points, my minimum neck depth. So for me, it's 3.5 or 4. Anything above 3.5 will choke my neck. So I've just marked that point. Meanwhile, this point is just a guideline. I can go below, but definitely not above. So I'm going to use my French curve to link my shoulder tip, the point I marked, and the armhole. So you can go freehand. You can use your pencil to just like draw a curve, then use your pattern master to make the curve more defined. But I always like to use my pattern master. Yes, so here, this is it here. Yeah, so this is it. So my scissors neckline is already coming out. Yeah, it's coming out already. So this is my shoulder tip here, and the upper part of that pattern, we don't need it anymore. Okay, so yeah, I'm just highlighting it more now. I'm going to mark 1/2 inch away from my center front. So what I'll do is I will mark 1/2 inch here, or better still, I will fold my pattern. Okay, so that oh, sorry, I'm marking the points where the scissors neckline will start from. That's about 3/4 of an inch away from the center front. I'm sorry, guys, sorry. Okay, so I'm not very comfortable with the curve of the neckline, so I'm using a different type of curve. I want it to be more like, I don't like the shape of the curve, so I want to just use my hip curve to make it more defined, like so. Yeah, I think this looks better. Yes, look more better. So this is the scissors neckline. I'm shading it for us, like to make it more defined so that we can see. Yeah, so if this is your first time on this channel, kindly give it a thumbs up, like, leave your questions, and do not forget to subscribe. So I'm cutting the unwanted parts out. So you see why we need to draft this pattern on fold. It's an asymmetric pattern. Anything asymmetric, meaning that the both sides of the pattern are not equal. Okay, so I'm just cutting out the unwanted parts. I've already shaded the part that we want, which is the shaded part. Yeah, so here, so this is it here, but definitely we need to separate it from the main body. So I'm just going to cut out here like so. Okay, so once I do this, I can fold my bodice pattern back and create the cups for the corsets. So I'm going to mark 1/2 inch away from the center front, except you want that space in between your boobs to be bigger. 1/2 inch is fine. Then I'll use my French curve to link the 2 points together, then towards the underbust. okay, and your cuff placement is very, very important, like so. And then for this side here, I'll just mark 1 inch away from the side seam, 1 inch. Now for this particular top, funny enough, I didn't use a bra cup. I didn't use wadding. I used multiple layers of ST. So this is C1 and C2. See the way I drew it? Yeah. And my cups are ready. Ready. So I'm just gonna cut out like so, and then I'll go ahead and transfer all of this to my fabric. So let me just still show us the cutting process. Okay. So I hope this video was not too fast, like how you guys normally complain, Lala, everything is too fast, blah 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 blah. Anyways, I tried to slow it down, but what we'll fail to realize is YouTube cannot be compared to a paid class. If you've joined our online class before, you know that YouTube is like comparing sleep to death. Yes, like comparing sleep and death. Anyway, that's by the way. So if you want a very, 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 very detailed class, you should join our online class. Yeah. So this is the back pattern. I've added my fabric to, sorry, I've cut my fabric on pattern, guys, forgive me. So, and I added half-inch seam allowance around all the patterns, okay? Except for the side seam, of course. Then I have a peplum here, a 3-layer peplum. Guys, I have done this peplum tutorial like 3 times. So I will drop the link in the description box for those of us that don't know how to make a peplum. So here, my cups, like I said, I didn't use any bra foam or wadding. I just added interfacing to all the fabric and the lining. But for the cup area, you can see my interfacing. This is ST. I don't use paper stay. Paper stay doesn't last. So this is it. I'm joining the two all the front pieces together aside from the cups. For the cups, I added like 4 layers of interfacing to each of the cup areas so that it has this thick feeling. Okay, yeah. So I'm putting it together. This is my cup here, like I was saying. So let me just pin it together. Okay, and then you want to use different fabrics for this style so to make it pop. So this is my ST here. So I added about 4 layers, yes, to each of the cup. Then I didn't bother putting ST on the lining because I still use the same fabric as the lining. And then this is a quality print, so I didn't bother. Yeah, but for the main cups, I added 4 layers of interfacing to each of them. So I'll go ahead and stitch them together. Okay, so let me just quickly show us how I want to do that. So this is it here. Now these cups tend to stretch, yes, so you have to work with pins. I've heard people claiming that they've been sewing for 20 years and all of that. See, if you want to reduce mistakes, all those tricks of trimming excess fabric up and down, just use pin, guys, just pin. Okay, so I'm just showing us how to sew the cups. So if you can see an improvement in our video, I want you to comment in the comment section. Yeah, all through last year, I was getting so many complaints. Lala, your video is too fast, it's not detailed, blah, blah, blah. So let me know if this video was like detailed. Yeah, so your feedback will help me to either make it more detailed or, do 1 or 2 adjustments like that. So I'm just going to notch like so. Okay, so the notching is very important because this is a curve, and if you don't notch it, no matter how much you iron it, will not lie flat. So guys, this is it. You can see without my bra cup, it's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to sew the other cup. Okay, and then now let me show you how to do a top stitch. So I'm going to stitch the seam allowance. Okay, I'll stitch it down. So for corset, there are so many ways to sew a corset. Do you know that if I stitch down this seam allowance, I could actually fix a boning inside the seam allowance, and it gives it some sort of structure. So you could actually fix a boning right into the seam allowance, because the seam allowance is like you're creating a casing, but that's optional anyway. It's optional, it's not compulsory. So you can see, yeah. So okay, I'm just taking my time to explain actually, but you can skip this part if you don't want to. You can skip it because this is more like a decorative stitch sort of. Because I'm not gonna be fixing the boning in the cup. I'm just giving us an insight of, you know, different ways you can make a corset. Okay, but the boning will actually give it more structure. But then I'm not doing that. Okay, so yeah, this is the first cup. This is the first cup here. Then I'll go ahead to sew the second one. Okay, so here, my lining sewn, fabric sewn. So now I'll go ahead to join the cups to the lower part of my bodice. Okay, then this is the straps. So I've already torn in with the fabric, and I added interfacing to one side. Okay, so I use the fabric to line it basically. So and then it's going to cross each other like this. Okay, so yeah, I'm just showing us a pattern so that we remember what we did initially. This is it here. Okay, and this is my seam allowance on the lower part. Yeah, and you have two straps. So you have the option of adding the cup first, but before we do that, I'm gonna go and create a casing for my boning. Okay, yes, this is my boning here. So I'll be using the seam allowance to create a casing for my boning, or a channel, whatever I want to call it. And we have different sizes of boning, so just go ahead and sew with half-inch seam allowance all the way down. So here, done. Let me just, I don't know what am I even looking for. Yeah, this is my front bodice. So but I've not put the boning yet. I want to attach my cup. Okay, I'm gonna attach my cup first, then when I do that I cannot fix the boning. So I'll pin this like so, right side facing right side. Okay, same thing with the other cup, and I'll do exactly the same thing with my lining too. Same thing with my lining, and then I'll show us what I've done so far. Okay guys, so far so good. This is it here. This is my bodice. Okay, here, and then same thing for my lining. So now I would attach the straps. Okay, so just know that the straps will be attached in form of a scissors, like running from one shoulder to the opposite side of the cup. You understand? Like if this strap is going to show right shoulder, then the tip will go to the left cup and vice versa. I don't know if that makes sense. You understand? Right shoulder goes to left cup go, you understand, and the other way around. So then remember we marked 3/4 of an inch away from the center front. So the strap is not starting from the center front. Okay, remember from one way that in our pattern. So I'll just place it this way and I'm going to pin it down. So I didn't use 3 different Ankara fabric again. Like I didn't want it to be too dramatic. These two just worked fine. Yeah. So here, then I'll also place the second one here. So right cup goes to left shoulder, left cup goes to right shoulder. I don't know if that's making sense. So I'm just still marking and then I'll pin. So like I always say, if you don't want to make mistakes, please pin. The time you use to quickly just hold pieces together, just hold it randomly and then start losing and coming back to the right thing, it's too long. Just pin it and then your work will be very fast. So I will place my lining on top. This is my lining, like so, and I'll just sew it very straight, like a straight stitch basically. So this is what I've done so far here. Okay, so for my back piece is very simple. This is the inside of my corset. The back piece, nothing serious, just join all the, sew your darts, turn it with lining at the neckline, so that's all. This is my lining here. So basically I'll sew my darts on the back pattern. So I'll just place my lining like so, and then I will sew the neckline with 1/2 inch seam allowance like so. Then when I do that, next step is to attach the front and back together. Okay, right. So before you do that, let me quickly turn the neckline first. Okay, now When I turn the neckline, I will join the front and back together at the shoulder equally. Okay, so here I've turned it and I've also turned my armhole. Okay, because there's lining there. So this is the back piece here. So I'll just join, make sure the scissors, like the two straps in front are in form of a scissors, like the placement, and then you attach each of those straps to the shoulder at the back. Okay, like that. So that's like half-inch seam allowance for the shoulder. Okay, so this will be attached here. Okay, so you see that you fix it inside for a very clean finishing. You tuck it in and then sew with half-inch. Like you tuck it in and bring it out on the other side and sew with half-inch. Or for those of us that are very lazy, like we have lazy sewers, they don't like stress. They'll just attach the two of them together and sew it straight. I call them lazy sewers. Yes, to just do this and sew half-inch. Oh god. Anyways, so same thing for the other side. Okay, so I'll just do that and I'll show us what I've done so far. The next thing, I'll sew the side seams, half-inch seam allowance. Yeah, so I'll just do that. Now for the peplum, I have done that tutorial like 3 times. How to sew peplum with crinoline. Yes, I'll post the link in the description box. Okay, I don't have to start doing that all over again. Like that's a very long tutorial, so I will post the link. I've done the tutorial like 3 times, so this is it here. Okay, the peplum is not lined, and then I added crinoline to give it that wavy look. You can see, and I have 3 layers. Now some of you might want to ask, how many yards did I use in making this dress? Just 2 yards. Okay, so I just added it to the waistline and I added zipper. Unfortunately, I can't find a video where I showed how to attach the zipper. But come on, guys, for you to want to sew a corset, you should know how to fix a zipper. And then it's not even looking very fine on the mannequin. I will show us how it looked like on me now. Sorry, some of our students are busy at the studio, so you're just seeing everywhere very rough and dirty. Sorry. Okay, so this is how it looked like on me. I used like less than 2 yards of fabric. So this is how it looks like, very beautiful. So I hope you'll be able to make yours as nice as this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.